Hello everyone, how are you? In this video we're gonna talk about another service in the Windows Server 2019. In the previous we talked about many services and we said the server is a computer or a special type of computer that provide a services to the other computers in the networks. So those computers called the clients that provide a service called server. So now there is a server and there is a client and there is a services. And in the previous we talk about a lot of services like what? Like we have DHCP. DHCP is a service that a server provides to the client to distribute the IP address or a configuration to the client. Also we talk about DNS. DNS is also a service to resolve or to mapping the domain name to the IP address. And also we talk about another, for example, WDS. WDS is a service to deploy the operating system to the clients. Also, we talk about the domain controller. It is most important service in the Windows Server for using for securing and for the authorizing. And there is many of services. Today we'll talk about another service called isIIS or Internet Information Services. Internet Information Services, when we install it in the server, will convert our server to the web server. DHCP, for example, when we install it in the server, will convert our server to the DHCP server. If we install DNS in the server, will convert our server to the DNS server, and so on. isIIS, when we install in the computer in the server, will convert our server to the web server. That means what? That means our server will serve the client in terms of web. I have a website in the network, I install the website or I upload the website or I put the website in the server, and the client can access the website from the server. I mean, for example, I have 100 clients in the network, and in the server I install or I put the website, and from those all 100 or 1000 of a client I can access the website in the server. So it is very important. You can, if you work in the company, you can create a website. You have Windows Server and we have a client. You can create a website and you can access this website internally inside the network. Or also, if you have a gateway router, can access the website in the server externally from another networks or from anywhere in the internet if you connect with the internet. Also, in your graduate research, in the practical side, if you have a website, you can create you can create like a virtual environment to test your website. You can add a website in the Windows Server and make many clients or create a lot of clients and try to make a request or connect from between the client and the website. That from the browser, of course. You have computer server and you have a client, and from the browser in the client we can just access the website in the server. So how we can do that? The first thing, we want to install the service. We know that if you want to install the service, any service, just from manage in the server, just from manage and rules and feature, and then next, you know that same thing, every service like this, and then just try to find the IIS, Internet Information Service. So here you can see web server IIS, and from here expand again. So I install it in my computer. You can see it is installed. Just select it here, select all and install, next, and then install. My computer is already installed, so I can just from tools, and you can find it, Internet Information Services Manager. Click on it. Now I can see this page to make a configuration to the website. Now I want to create a website, just a very simple website consisting from one page, for example, and then I want to install it in the server. So here you can see the server expanded, and you can see site here and default website. But now I want to create a website. So in the server, just to create a website, go anywhere in the server, for example in the C or in the desktop or anywhere, drive C I mean. In the drive C, right click and the new, and I want to create a site, for example call it site, website, just a site. You know the website consists from a lot of web page. Double click and I want to create HTML page. Now go text file and I want to create HTML page. The HTML will be just very simple, like h1 this tag, and for example this is my first, for example, and backslash h1. This is very simple HTML code, and now I want to save it as HTML file. Right click, save as, and change this, and for example I can make it home.html. Now I have HTML file and call it home and save. Now you can see I have home inside site. In the C I have site, inside it I have home page. So now I have the website. You can imagine you have a website, you just copy paste the website here. You have maybe 100 page, no problem with that. Same thing, but here just for example. After that, go here to the isIIS and then go to the website. I want to create a website. I want to add my website here. Just right click and add website. Now the site name or the name of the website, you can add any name. For example here, my site, for example. No problem with the name. And then the physical path, I mean the path of the website, my website, I created in the C. So just from here, go to the C and site that I already created now. Then the type of letters HTTP or HTTPS and the port 80, for example. Host name, now I want to create host name. Whatever, anything. For example, test.com. But you should pay attention now. The devices, the equipment cannot understand the test.com. We should mapping to the IP address, or we should connect this host name with the IP address. If you want to do something like this, how we can do that? Of course, we should using the DNS. The DNS we said is mapping the IP address, the DNS service, mapping the IP address to the domain name. So now I create a domain name, test.com. I should connect it with the IP address, so I should using the DNS. Now, okay, and complete. Now go to my site here. I said before, in the sites consist from web page. Website consists from web pages. In the site I want to create, double click on it. You can see here you have a default document. I mean by default document like a home page, a default page. When we access the website, the first page open this page, and from this page you know you have a hyperlink, can access the another or navigate to the another pages. So the default document page, just double click on it, and from here I want to add my home page. Just say home.html because I create home.html inside it. So okay, now this page will be home.html. Now I complete here. Now I should connect the host name. I name it test in my site. I name it test.html, right? Or sorry, test.com. So I want to connect it with the DNS. So I want to go to the DNS now. Go to the DNS. My server is DNS server also. From tools. And then we have here servers. I have forward lookup zones. I said before we have forward lookup and reverse lookup. Forward, that means mapping the domain to the IP address, and reverse in the just mapping the IP address to the domain name. So here I want forward, I want to map the domain test.com to the IP address. So here just right click on it, and then right click and the new zone. So you can see I already have the zone lab.com, for example. So now next, primary zone. Next again, to all DNS server, I just make it by default. Now the zone name, what's the zone name? I make it test.com. Next again, and finish. Now I create this zone, test.com. But now I want to connect it with the IP address, right? So just go to the new zone, test.com that I created. Right click, and a new host. Add a new host. Here you can add the name or whatever. But the most important thing I have here, the IP address. I want the IP address for my server. So here .4.200, because this IP address for my server, you can see here my server is a web server. Now my server is converted to the web server, so the IP address should be same as the IP address of my server. Now I connected, and so here in the DNS, when we add the host, the new host, just here the first thing we should add the www as a parent. After that, just go to the isIIS and then go to the site, test our site, and go to the binding, and here you can see without www. I just want to add the www, so here add www.test.com, and okay, just I want to binding the www and then close. Now we should just go to the client, www.test.com,